everyone, I am Ariel Lim and this is Ariel Lim Yoga. So you know who I am, you know what we're doing. Thank you for joining me on the mat today for Yoga Reset. It is the beginning of spring and I feel like it is a perfect time for a nice reset. We're going to spend some time on the mat today, letting go of some of that stagnant energy, some of those emotions that we carry throughout the winter, and really just open up our hips and reset. So we'll start in a nice comfortable seated position, any seated position that feels good in your body today. As usual, I am starting in half lotus, but you can be in a full lotus, you can be in an easy seat, you can be in a hero's pose, whatever feels good. And as you start to settle in to your seat of choice, start to bring your awareness to where your body is touching your mat or the ground beneath you. Begin to sit up nice and tall. Maybe you close your eyes or bring your gaze down in front of you. Resting your palms gently on your knees, you might start to lengthen through the spine, bringing our shoulders down, but trying to lift the crown of our head up towards the ceiling, keeping our chin parallel with our mat. And we'll take a nice deep inhale through the nose and exhale, beginning to settle in. As we take our next inhale, we'll start to draw energy up through the earth, starting to rinse through our bodies, up through the legs, up through our torso, through our chest, up through our crown. And as we exhale, we begin to let it all go. Let all of that negative energy or stale energy from the winter begin to wash away into our mats, into the ground, to be transformed into new energy for something new or someone new, or maybe for yourself for later. Take another nice deep inhale through the nose and a nice sigh through the mouth. On our next inhale, we'll bring our arms up and overhead, reaching up towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Maybe we glance towards our fingertips. And then we'll take a twist to the right, bringing the left hand outside of the right knee, bringing our right hand behind the small of our back, sitting up nice and tall, finding length in the spine. And exhale to twist, gazing over that right shoulder. Take a nice deep inhale here. And exhale to deepen that rinse, letting it go. Inhale, come back to center, reach up and overhead. Maybe you gaze up at the sky once more. And then we'll take a twist to the left this time, bringing that right hand on the left thigh or knee. Sitting up nice and tall on an inhale. And exhaling to deepen our rinse, gazing over the left shoulder. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And exhale. Coming back to center, we'll reach our arms up and overhead one more time. And then we'll take a forward fold, bringing our hands out in front of us, bringing our forehead down to the mat, keeping the length in our spine, leading with the chest. Staying heavy in the seat. Take a nice deep inhale here. And exhale to surrender into this moment. Letting go. Starting our reset journey. On our next inhale, we'll begin to walk back up to center. And then we'll make our way to hands and knees. Tabletop position. Spread the fingers nice and wide here. Bring the wrists underneath the shoulders. The knees are stacked underneath the hips. And on an inhale, we're going to drop the belly, lift the hips, lift the chin for our cow pose. Inhale. And exhale as you round the spine, tucking the chin into the chest for our cat pose.
trying to press away from the earth, bringing that belly button to the spine. Inhale back into our cow pose, dropping the belly, lifting the chin here. Exhale to round the spine back into our cat pose. And now you can take a few more rounds of cat-cow, following your own pace. Just remembering to breathe, finding a breath that feels good to you today. Starting to wake up the spine, starting to wake up the hips. One more round, dropping the belly, lifting the chin and the tailbone up for cow. And exhale into our cat, rounding that spine, pressing the ground away. And then we'll make our way to a neutral position. From here, we're going to do some hip circles, starting to wake up our hips for our practice. We hold on to a lot of emotional tension in our hips. So today we're going to open our hips to let go, into release and reset. So we'll lift that left knee and start to make circles, like you're drawing circles on the wall to the right of you, starting in one direction. Either direction is fine. Couple circles. And then we'll take it in the other direction. Remembering to breathe. Beautiful. And then we'll bring that right knee down. Maybe we'll do a round of cat-cow just to go between sets. Dropping the belly, lifting the chin. Exhaling into cat. We'll come back to our neutral spine and we'll do hip circles on the left. So we'll lift up that left knee and begin to draw circles on the left wall in one direction. Waking up those hips. And then we'll go in the other direction. You've got this. A couple more circles. Beautiful. And then we'll bring that knee back down to the ground. Tuck our toes underneath and lift the hips up and back for downward facing dog, our first downward dog of the practice. So we'll pedal it out. Wake up the backs of the legs. Waking up the shoulders. Bringing our ears between our biceps, letting the head hang heavy. Maybe you nod your head yes, or shake it no. And when you're ready, we'll find a moment of stillness, taking a nice deep cleansing breath through the nose. And we'll exhale out of the mouth, letting it go. Bring the big toes to touch. And on an inhale, we'll extend that right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Bend that knee off for split dog. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale to come forward, bringing that foot between the hands, lowering the left knee to the mat. We'll bring our right hand on the inside of our right foot and start to walk our right foot towards the edge of our mat, moving into a lizard posture. This is a great hip opener here. And if this doesn't feel good, you can stay in a nice low lunge. You're going to bring the top of your left foot down to the mat for a little extra stability. And you can take a nice deep inhale here, bringing the chest forward. Maybe you bring that right foot so the edge of the foot is on the mat for a little deeper stretch, if you so choose. Or maybe you're feeling a little bit active today. You want to do a little bit deeper of a stretch, so you lift that back foot up off the mat for a lifted lizard. No pressure to do so. I'm not feeling it today. Take a nice deep inhale here, and whichever lizard posture is of choice for your body. And we'll begin to lower down to the forearms, or if you have blocks, you can come down to blocks.
Taking a few deep breaths here. So today we're not going to do many poses, many postures, but we'll hold them for a little bit longer so we can really feel the benefits of the hip openers, feel the benefits of that emotional release and reset. Taking nice deep inhale here. Trying to stay active in the shoulders. We don't want to be dumping into the shoulders. Maybe you let the head hang heavy. And just take nice deep breaths wherever you are, through the nose. Bring breath to any areas that are holding on. And as you exhale, start to let go. If you feel emotional during these hip openers, it's okay. As I said before, we carry so much emotional tension in our hips, so if you feel any emotions, it's okay to acknowledge them. You might not even be able to name them, and that's okay too. And as you breathe, you can begin to let them go. Another nice deep inhale here, and exhale. We'll begin to lift ourselves back up, and then we'll lift the left foot up off the mat. And if you were in a lifted lizard, you can lower the knee down to the mat and lift the back foot. And we'll reach back with our right foot for a nice little twist here, keeping the heart open. Maybe you gaze up towards the sky, staying open across the chest, bringing the shoulders back, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Take a nice deep inhale here, and exhale to release the foot gently back to the mat. We'll walk our foot to the center of the mat, frame the foot with our hands, lift the back foot, and step up to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to fold. And then we'll step back to a downward facing dog. Taking another moment to pedal it out maybe. Or maybe you prefer a moment of stillness or a child's pose. Whatever feels good to you between sides. And when you're ready, we'll bring our big toes to touch. And on an inhale, extend that left leg up and back. Bending the knee off, stacking the hips for our split dog. Inhale. And exhale to bring the left foot between the hands. We lower on the right knee, bringing the top of our right foot to the mat. We'll bring our left hand on the inside of that left foot and walk our foot closer towards the edge of our mat. Maybe this side feels different. Maybe you don't choose the same path this time, and that's okay. Or maybe you choose the same path, but wherever you are, you want to make sure that you're not in any discomfort. Maybe you open the hips up a little bit here, bringing the edge of the left foot to the mat. Take a nice deep inhale, lifting through the chest. And exhale. Maybe this time you lower down to the forearms into blocks. Remembering to stay active across the collarbone and shoulders. Remembering to breathe. Inhale to draw breath into your hips. And exhale to release. Anything that no longer serves you, anything that you don't want to carry into the spring. Taking a few more breaths here. And whichever version of your lizard pose you've chosen, this is your practice, so you choose the modifications or the versions of a pose or posture that works the best for your body.
Take one more nice cleansing breath through the nose. And then exhale as we make our way back up. If your right knee is lifted, this is the time to lower it, and we'll begin to lift that right foot up off the mat, reaching back with our left hand for a twist, opening across the chest, maybe gazing up at the sky. Inhale and exhale, feeling that nice stretch in the psoas and in the hips. Take another nice deep inhale and exhale to release that right foot gently on the mat, bringing our left foot to the center of the mat. We'll frame our left foot, pick up the right foot up off the mat, and step forward to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And then we'll slowly lift our way up, one vertebra at a time, reaching up and overhead. The hands meet in prayer. Maybe we take a little back bend here. And exhale the hands back to heart center. From here, we're going to step our feet about as wide as our mat and start to sink our hips down. We'll tuck our right elbow into our right knee and our left elbow into our left knee for malasana or yogi squat. If coming all the way down does not work for you, you can stay lifted, or you can come down to sit on a block. Or if you have the full yogi squat in your practice, you can bring the tailbone down so it hovers above the mat, pressing your elbows into your knees into your elbows, staying active in the arms. Maybe you rock side to side, opening the hips, feeling grounded. Taking a nice deep inhale to bring good energy through the body. And exhale any negative energy, any negative or emotions that no longer serve you, let them flow through your feet as you exhale. Take one more nice deep inhale in our malasana. And exhale, we'll begin to lower the hands to the mat, lifting the hips up, stepping our feet to about hips distance, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And then we'll step back to a downward facing dog. You're doing a great job. We're going to start to take things a little bit lower. On our next inhale, we'll lift the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. And as we exhale, we'll bring our right foot towards the left edge of our mat, our right knee towards the right edge of our mat for a pigeon pose. Maybe you walk that left leg back a little bit, bringing the top of the foot to the mat. It's a great hip opener, one of my favorite stretches. However, it's not for everybody, and if this pose is not great for you, what you can do instead is bring that left leg forward, crossing your right leg over the left for a figure four. And then as a bonus, you can give yourself a little foot massage here, or if you want to intensify it, you can bring the left foot to the mat, sitting up. So whichever path you choose, maybe you have to try a few things to see what feels good. Do what feels good for you. If you're in pigeon, we'll sit up nice and tall here. Inhale. And then exhale to bring the forearms down. Maybe you bring a block down to rest your head on, or your hands. Maybe you are a little lifted in the hip here. You put a block on the edge of your hips for a little extra support, bringing the earth up to you. And most importantly, remember to breathe. Taking nice deep inhales, letting the breath flow through the hips, and exhale as we release a little deeper. a nice deep inhale through the nose, feeling the breath cleanse, melt away any tension we're holding on to, emotional or otherwise. And exhale, releasing, letting go, resetting. On our next inhale, we'll press ourselves back up, and then we'll tuck in our left toes, lift the leg, and step back to downward facing dog. Maybe take a moment to pedal it out here before we bring our big toes to touch. And on an inhale, lift that left leg up and back, three-legged dog. And then we'll bring the left foot to the right edge of the mat, the left knee towards the left edge of the mat, walking our right leg back a little bit if you need space, bringing the top of the right foot to the mat for our pigeon pose on this side. Now remember, you can modify in your figure four. Maybe pigeon works for you on one side and not the other, so you choose a different path this time. It's all good. You have to listen to your body. You are the expert in your body. I am merely your guide. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Maybe you come forward onto the forearms here, deepening the stretch. Take a nice deep inhale to rinse, and exhale to let go. Taking another nice cleansing breath through the nose. Exhaling through the nose or mouth. Letting the breath guide you in the process of resetting. Taking another couple inhales and exhales at your own pace. We'll slowly begin to lift ourselves back up, tucking in the right toes, lifting up and back to downward facing dog. And if you are in a seated posture, you can meet us in downward facing dog for just a moment. We'll be saying goodbye to our down dog. We'll take one last moment to just pedal out those legs. We've done a lot of work in our legs, and they deserve a little stretch too. And then we'll bring our knees to the mat, bring our big toes to touch, extend our knees as wide as our mat or as wide as is comfortable, and sink our hips back and down, reaching forward, leading with the chest, letting the forehead come to the mat for our extended child's pose. Taking a few moments of breath to release, to give our hips a beautiful stretch here. This is a very restful pose, very comfortable, cozy pose. So just breathe here. Take a nice deep breath, feeling the breath fill your body, letting it rinse away any last remnants of winter, and exhale into this new beautiful season of awakening, of new beginnings. When you're ready, we'll come up to a tabletop position first, cross our ankles and sit back, extending our legs out in front of us. Maybe we shake them out a little bit. And then we'll sit up nice and tall, reach our arms up and overhead, and then leading with the chest, we'll come down for a forward fold. This might be a good time to bend the knees, taking a little bit of the pressure off the hamstrings. Feeling a nice stretch here in the low back and a little bit in the hips. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale to surrender and let go. Letting your hands rest wherever they've landed. There's no pressure to reach your feet or your shins. They could be on your thighs, wherever is comfortable for you. Take another nice deep inhale and exhale to slowly roll up and find a nice comfortable seated position. Once you found your seat, maybe you take a moment to close your eyes. On an inhale, we'll rise our arms up and overhead, the hands meet in prayer, and come down on an exhale. Heart center. Take a moment to scan your body, noticing how you feel, noticing what may have come up in your practice and what may have been let go. Taking a moment to acknowledge yourself for coming to the mat today, for opening your heart, your mind, and your hips to a nice, beautiful reset for spring. Together, we'll take a nice, deep inhale, the biggest inhale we've taken all day through the nose. And exhale, sighing into peace, into spring. Slowly open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today for this beautiful yoga reset practice. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I hope this spring season brings you many great things. You deserve them. As always, from my heart to yours.